This is a picture of the coast where I live, in Dorset, England. It's in the resource below. We're going to paint it, but we're not going to be a slave to our reference. We're going to use it as our subject, but only as a starting point. Firstly, I lightly sketch out the basic shapes. So lightly you probably can't even see it. But there's an horizon line, the position of the rock formation and the curve of the foreground. I'm going to drop in a sky first, and I'm wetting the area with clean water. I'm painting the sky wet in wet. I mix up a suitable blue and grab some kitchen roll. I'm going to dab in some clouds with this. Then I paint in a soft wash. Painting wet in wet means my brush strokes disappear. I add a little more colour at the top, as skies generally get lighter towards the horizon. Kitchen roll lifts off the colour and creates pleasing random clouds. While the surface is still wet, I can drop in a little more colour and play with the edges of the clouds with clean water, softening them here and there. Okay, onto the sea. I'm doing that wet in wet too. By the shore, I'm rubbing a little candle wax. I'm hoping that this will repel the paint and leave a few flecks of white paper showing through. Now I mix up a slightly different blue and paint it in. It looks a little strong here, so I dive in with kitchen roll and brush to lift off some of the colour. There's the wax resisting the colour at the shore. I'm mixing up some colour for the rock formation. The colours aren't particularly accurate, but like I said, we're not slaves to our reference photo, and this painting is all about colour. I'm popping some cling film on top to create a bit of texture. For the foreground, I'm starting with a bright green yellow, again as a wet base to drop in further colour wet in wet. Here I'm adding the suggestion of grasses by scoring the surface with the edge of a credit card. And then charging in with darker colours and letting the colours mingle. Often, painting with watercolour is as much about taking paint off as putting it on. spattering with neat alcohol can create more variety. And I'm continuing to build up new marks and different colours. Where too much liquid has accumulated on the paper, the best way to remove it is to dry off your brush and touch the tip into the puddle. Capillary action will draw up the liquid without disrupting the painting, which is what would happen if you tried to dab off the puddle with tissue or kitchen roll. Now things have dried off, I can remove the cling film and add further detail by glazing over the painting. With the watercolour dry, we're no longer painting wet on wet. The surface is dry, so our brush strokes have clean, crisp edges. I glaze in the distant landmass on the horizon, and then dab it back to both lessen its intensity and add a little textural interest. As a final touch, I'm dragging the belly of an almost dry brush along the sea, allowing little flecks of colour to catch the texture of the paper, just to suggest the surface of the water.